to the cloud. And now we're going to make Bassiani host.
Hey Dante, hey everybody.
Hello Mario, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, everybody. And what else am I gonna do? Cool, okay. We're live on Facebook. Welcome everybody who may be tuning into this. This is something that I'm doing again every week. If you're new to this, I channel the Pleiadian Council. They're an interdimensional group consciousness that's supporting our planet in all of the changes we're going through. And we can all tap into them telepathically as we can connect to our own spirit guides. And they have a lot of guidance to offer us on our journey. So people can ask any questions in this group space. And it can be personal, it can be more metaphysical or collective in nature. And I do this every week. And I also do private sessions that really help people go deeper into themes that might not be so easy to share in public. Beyond questions, they also do energy work with us where we can really tap into things that might be stuck in our energy body, our emotional body, and get to the root cause of them and reprogram our psyche, reprogram our body to be kind of more in alignment with our source self. I teach people how to channel, and the next channeling course is starting in the beginning of December and beginning of October. Why did I say December? So if that's of interest to you, you can check out my page for more information. And it's a really amazing program. And if you're not called to do it in a group setting, there is like 13 hours or so of pre-recorded content that I also go through with people on an individual basis and take them through it. Though I find it so much more powerful in a group space as we really get to put all of the tools to work and witness the transformation take place, where there's a lot of other people besides me holding you accountable to show up for the process. So it's been amazing, and I've seen a lot of people transform, and all of this work is my calling, and it really fills my life with joy to be of service to everyone else. So thank you for allowing me to do this and allowing the Pleiadian Council to come through. As their joy is to help other groups of beings evolve as well. So we're all making it happen together. People can donate to these sessions if they feel called. Maybe Bassiani will post the link in the Zoom chat for you to find the details. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can type the questions into the thing, and we will get to as many of the questions as we can possibly get to in this session. And right before I begin, I'm gonna disappear again and edit the post one more time to let people know who might catch the live video late that they can ask questions. And maybe that will clarify it for some people. Anything I'm forgetting? Is there anything I'm forgetting? No. Are we ready to begin? Yes. I can't hear anyone. Is everything good? Yes?
Yep, everything's all right.
Okay. And how's my lighting and everything? It's fine?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Ah, good. Yeah, the sound is great, Dante.
And the lighting, this is a better angle maybe?
That's okay. Yeah.
It's okay? What would make it better?
It's pretty light, but I mean...
Now?
Yeah.
Better?
That's good.
Cool. Okay.
Wonderful.
So enjoy the session, everybody, and I'll see you on the flip side. hello, and we say good day to you this moment of your time. As the Pleiadian Council, it's a pleasure and an honor to establish contact with you in this way, and we thank you for allowing these transmissions to take place, as all of you allow for this interaction to be something that allows Source to expand through the reflections we offer each other, and for us to expand as well in the same way that you expand through integrating these high frequency energies. We get to know more of all that is and expand through everything that you offer to us with your presence and your interaction. So again, our thanks is with you. We will begin with a short message before attending to any of the questions or concerns that any of you may have. Today, we would like to speak to the understanding that all is one and the one is in all, and that through applying the understanding of this law, you can come to see that every other person you may be interacting with is simply an extension of the one, and as you are that one, a reflection of yourself. When you live without questioning this understanding of oneness and bringing it into your life, you might fall back into the conditioned assumption that your world leads you to believe about yourself, that you are separate and different from other people and the world around you. When the greater reality will lead you to understand you are simply one aspect of a grand web of life. And without you doing anything at all, your very existence affects everything in your surroundings and brings out different aspects of other people in the same way that other people bring out different aspects within you. So when you experience interactions with others and you notice something that brings you to life, fills you with a sense of love, or when you notice something that causes you to retract, something that causes you to tense up, what you are noticing is an aspect of yourself. What you are attracted to in the other is something that you possess on some level, but have not fully cultivated awareness of to allow it to expand and become a tangible and palpable aspect of your life. Something that you resist, that you see in others, is something that you have rejected and something that you have disowned and pushed away. And in order to be a more complete version of yourself, that thing that may be even negative is something that you must come to bring into your awareness, to accept, to ask yourself, where has this come from? And why have I learned that it is wrong about me? Ask yourself if there is something positive hidden within that seeming negative trait. Some of the time, what you have come to believe as negative isn't negative at all. And sometimes you will not get to the hidden positives that this negative thing is hiding and obscuring until you find acceptance for it. And as you find acceptance for it, the intensity of that seeming negative thing will lessen to the point that you can actually dive deeper into yourself. Now, when we say that other people are mirrors, that is not saying that you should tolerate behaviors that are abusive or harmful to you. But we are saying that when you can note that others are not, but we are saying intended, somebody is needing to mute themselves because we are hearing feedback.
Yes, now it's done.
All right. So, if others are being in any way harmful, then you must disconnect from them. But at the same time, note that there is something within that individual that you possess on a certain deeper level within yourself. And if you can do the work to own that, you will find that it is easier to note that quality in other people. It is, in a sense, easier to witness it without judging it. And at the same time, it is easier to notice when it arises as a way to avoid, if necessary, experiences that you don't prefer. The great challenge in your world is that so many of you have otherified people that you perceive as dissimilar to you, when in reality you are all human, and beyond your humanness, all beings in the galaxy share the same genome, share the same general experiences and proclivities. And it is through bringing your awareness to your shared soul level connection to source and your very being a part of all that is, inseparable from the fabric of reality, together one with every other soul. You can welcome others into your life. You can find that even if people are totally dissimilar to you and have very different interests and very different desires and very different values, that you can experience those individuals as embodiments of love, and you can cultivate a sense of love for them. The most awakened and enlightened beings in your world, if we use your language, are beings that can fall in love with every human they meet, who can gaze upon the other and see nothing but beauty, even in the darkness. So these are the sorts of eyes that you want to be cultivating, because as you do, you will change your very energy field, and you will change the world around you simply by being in that state. More and more people will wake up into a higher frequency of love, where they will be able to see the very best in others and note as well the shadows and the things that separate you exist within each of you. But it is a choice whether or not you activate and act upon those negative and divisive qualities. Acknowledging they exist and having a neutral space of acceptance for them allows you to acknowledge your choice. When you are in a state of rejection or judgment, you diminish your perception of choice and bring yourself deeper into a fear-based state. So that is why creating neutral spaces and opening to the work of regularly meditating, or simply pausing and suspending your mental engagement in the world around you and falling back into a witnessing presence, is key for all of you in navigating through your lives. And again, the formula of following your highest passion to the best of your ability with no insistence on a particular outcome is the way to keep your frequency high, so that it is much easier to engage with love whenever you meet another. This is the way your world will change, and that is why ultimately we are here. So we thank you for allowing us to share this message, which for many of you is a reminder, and for some of you is something that you may have to look deeper at. And we now ask you, how can we support you with any of your questions, sharings, and reflections this moment of your time?
Yes, hello, dear Pleiadian.
Hello, yes.
I'm sorry the sound is a bit bad. I'm in the car, but I have a quick question. I'm about to be a father really soon, and I would like to know how can I best support my partner when she's giving birth. Thank you.
being there with her, perhaps, if you may, touching her or holding her hand, or simply witnessing her in love is the support that will help her best in the moment. Connecting with her as much as you can emotionally and validating all that she is experiencing and tending to the needs that she has in that process will be very helpful. Understand that she will have a clear sense of what she needs, and just by listening to her and being present, you will be doing very much. Focus deeper on active listening. Listen with all of your body. Listen with all of your emotions. Allow your heart to be fully engaged. And you can, as well, in your times of meditation, reflect on the energy of this new soul coming in. Recognize you can connect with the soul of your new child on a telepathic level and receive messages from them. They will be able to communicate with you in a much deeper way on that level. But as they learn to develop their human communication, you will experience this greater telepathic link for their early years of life. So come to enjoy that and allow that to increase your sensitivity to the world around you. And beyond that, the more you keep yourself calm and centered in this process, the more you will be able to actively listen and actively engage with your partner and with your new child.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dante and the Pleiadians. I love you.
Yes, our love to you as well, and our thanks to you as well.
Hi, Pleiadians. May I ask a question?
Yes.
I would like to explore whether do I have a counterpart or am I connected to you, the Pleiadian Council?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you do have several soul counterparts that are incarnate in our world. Do you have specific questions about that? Or do you know how to establish contact with your other soul aspects?
I was exactly going to ask you if you can give me a permission slip how I can establish contact with them. Yes.
Well, the baseline would be, again, following your passion and applying that formula so that you are in a high frequency state. And from there, the best thing to do would be to invite us into your dream space. When you go to bed every night, realize that you are opening yourself to greater contact with not only your guides, but with any sort of consciousness form or entity that you would desire to connect with. You can use a dream journal to increase the dream recall ability. Also, in meditation, you can invite our energy in. The channel on his channel has meditations for you to bring in intergalactic energy into your body and use that to establish greater contact with your guides by visualizing a clear chamber of light around your body and staying focused on that in a guided meditation. You tap into our frequency, and from there, you must work with your activated imagination to bring the sensations, images, thoughts, ideas, and any other imaginational impulse into your vessel deeper. You have to suspend judgment and suspend the part of you that believes your imagination is making things up and simply experience it on an emotional, mental, and physiological level. And the more you do that, the more your connection with us will open.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Oh, yes, our thanks to you as well.
May I ask a second question?
You may.
I did a 48 hours of fasting, and
right.
I had expectations that I would see something or that I would feel something, but nothing like that happened. But The interesting thing is that when I exactly let go of all expectations at the end of the 48 hours, while I was doing a meditation with my back to a tree, I saw a golden snake with eyes full of fire. And I was just wondering, what did I see? Because it was so intense that I actually opened my eyes when that happened.
That symbol represents the Kundalini energy, and it represents the higher dimensional form of the Kundalini energy. So understand that the Kundalini energy is a primordial energy that is stored at the base of your spine, and as it awakens the root chakra, it sends psychic surges of energy from your unconscious up through your body to break through blockages in the other chakras and lead you into a state of multidimensional consciousness, or what ancients have called samadhi. Now, this primordial Kundalini energy is within your body and is responsible for your healing and awakening, though there is a, again, multidimensional aspect to it that some call the golden Kundalini. And this is the part of you that some say is stored in higher chakras, even beyond the 7 chakras of the body. It comes from the realm of your own higher self. And as you direct yourself through processes of awakening and meditation, this energy descends into the body, into form, to stir the primordial Kundalini within your body to light and to awakening. So that is a glimmer of what you saw, and you may be experiencing deeper phases of the awakening of this energy and the progressive purgation of blockages that this energy brings. Now, we would also speak to why, again, fasting was not working completely as a permission slip until the very end. Is because, again, you had insistence on an outcome. You used a permission slip of fasting with the intention that it must bring you a certain result. And the best way to get results is, again, to listen to what is exciting for you. If fasting is something that is exciting for you and stirs a feeling of love and enthusiasm in your heart, then that is the right permission slip. But even if it is, and you are still in a state of insistence that it leads you to an experience, that experience will be delayed up into the point that you, again, release all insistence and be present with the process of following your passion, knowing that it will lead you where you're going, and you'll get there quicker when you are simply open to the journey and not attaching to any destination.
Thank you so much. My
Oh,
love
thank
to
you as well. Yes.
Hello. I would love to ask you about a kind of shaking that happens in my body when I'm in some meditative states, mainly with others, together with others, or when there's some higher energy that we share together. So yes. The shaking, and also related with the breath, seems to start at the solar plexus or more underneath.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what is going on. I have an idea, but I would love to hear what you sense.
Does it feel pleasant?
Yeah.
All right.
It's, yeah.
It is as well related to this Kundalini energy. The shaking in traditional senses has been called a kriya. And it's basically when these higher energies start to reach a place of a blockage. And pull that blockage loose. The shaking is a physiological response to the shaking loose of the blockage. So you may want to go deeper into the shaking to allow it to occur more. You can expand the shaking from your solar plexus to allow it to encompass your full body if the space feels safe to do that. Surrender to the experience. It will likely be a pleasurable but uncomfortable experience as you fully surrender to it. So take it in small doses and trust your body's response.
I thought you were about to say that it was best to go beyond the shaking, but that's interesting. I mean, to try to go deeper. I mean, not beyond.
Yeah.
Deeper in the body to where there's no shaking, so that I can allow the energy to move. But that makes sense as well.
Why would you go beyond the shaking or beneath the shaking?
I mean,
why
that's
is that your first impulse?
It's not my impulse really, but I have a little idea that maybe it would be good to go deeper in order to avoid this interference of the energy.
Well, again, it is not an interference, it is a release process. It is the way that your body is releasing the blockages. So if you only focus on the parts of you that are in alignment or in control, that part that is in a state of blockage will always remain there. So you want to actually connect with that in a safe way, in a place and a state where others are also comfortable and capable of facing that shaking. For some people might not be ready for that level of release, as again, when one person is in a process of release, it creates an energy field that pulls other people into a similar process. And if someone is in a state of great resistance while another person is releasing, the tension it creates can sometimes be too disruptive to be conducive to well-being for others and well-being for a safe release process for yourself. So make sure the space is safe, but you don't want to over-investigate and over-analyze what it means to be safe. You will feel it at a level and allow the shaking to move and even emulate the shaking in your movement practices. What does it feel like to undulate the shaking? Recognize again that ancient mystery traditions used serpent-like movements in order to emulate this Kundalini energy and channel it so that it can be tapped into at will and used to bring psychic energy into places where there is blockage. So whenever you experience blockage, even if you don't move it right away, imagine that serpentine-like force. Perhaps it appears to you as the double helix image of DNA, or like literal snakes moving through your body. Move it, shake it in a gentle, pleasurable way. Use pleasure as the guiding principle. Those things that feel good to your body are good for your body. And with that understanding, you can come to note when you are doing something in alignment versus when you are pushing resistance in a way that enforces the resistance patterns.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so thanks to you as well.
I was at a 4-day silent retreat last weekend, and so it happened a lot. At some point, we had a sharing, verbal or non-verbal, and I fully allowed this, and a lot of deep breath and shaking, and then sound and suppressed energy came up quite strongly.
Yes.
It feels like a kind of dragon energy coming out.
Yes. The dragon is also an ancient representation of the Kundalini. So if that symbol works in a deeper resonance with you, you can use that rather than the symbol of snakes.
Yeah, I love both.
And also recognize you have a dragon counterpart that connects with this Kundalini energy. So you can invite that part of yourself into your body vessel as well.
Yes. Great, thank you very much.
Yes, and our great thanks to you as well.
Okay, there's a question on the Facebook chat from Bridget.
Yeah.
Ready with a question. Okay. My family and I are building conscious community. We are meeting with other families as well. At the moment, I'm feeling very confused about where to start this community and how to call in the financial support for it. We come with highly developed relating skills, life skills, relationship skills, unconventional family skills, consciousness connection, but have not been able to zero in on physical location and financial support. Any help is much appreciated.
So what we would encourage, first of all, is to connect with the great dream of it. And maybe you make a vision board or you go on a visioning meditation where everyone involved visualizes the aspects that are most exciting for them in a land in general. What kind of environment do you want? Do you want a place that is more warm or more seasonal? Do you want a place that is in the mountains or near the ocean? Do you want a place that has a certain natural backdrop or a different one? Allow every person involved to get in touch with what would resonate in the deepest way for them. And then as you start to notice the spaces that come to you, see which of them fit into the most commonly shared vision. And of course, use your intuition. You will have a gut sense and an emotional sense and a felt sense in your body when the space that really resonates comes to you. In terms of the idea of finances, simply be open. And as you continue to channel your passion towards this vision, you might bring in many other individuals that share your vision and have more resources, or you can also perhaps crowdsource. And as well, remember that your own passions can lead you greater abundance. So if you have skills and you have tools, find ways to use them as valuable exchange for the currency that you need to buy this land. Trust in the process and remember that everything in life is about the process. So your passion for the vision will guide you, and having no insistence as to the when and the how will allow the details to manifest as you go. You may encounter some false leads along the way, but each of those experiences, if they do arise, will be informative experiences, bringing you lessons so that when you find the very perfect place, you can dial into it and hone in on the manifestation much more easily and gracefully.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
Could you please tell us about this longing of... Oh, one moment. I don't know who's not muted.
The channel is aware of some background noise. Is that
Yes.
affecting the transmission?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out who it is.
There is channel's background noise.
Ah, okay, okay.
Environmental interference. Do we need to interrupt for a moment?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We don't think it's fine. One moment.
Okay.
Need to get away from that. Don't like that. Okay, here it's a little better. All right, let us continue.
Great, thank you. So, yes, could you tell us about this longing of melting with the divine and this this process of dying to allow the full to clean the channel?
Dying in what sense?
The ego death. I don't like this word ego, but then it gets clear.
Yes. So there are many distortions around this idea of ego, and we would define ego as a sense of self. So you need a sense of self to exist within the world and to express who you are and to meet those who have similarity, in a sense. So ego is well and good, except ego becomes unhealthy when there are identifications that limit the sense of self and separate the self from others. So what is dying are the ego identifications that uphold separation. So what is really dying is separation consciousness. So again, ego death is a way of saying it that makes it easier than saying death of separation consciousness, though that latter phrase is much more applicable and easier to communicate without allowing subliminal distortions to arise. So that process feels intense because there is emotional depth and intensity to one's identification with the limiting constructs. And in order to open and expand into your higher self, or as you say, the divine, you have to, again, as we've begun this transmission saying, see the threads of similarity that connect you with every single individual in your world. You have something in common with even the people that you don't like. And when you can recognize that and recognize that behind everyone's beliefs and choices, everyone is doing something because they believe it will lead them to love in some way. You can experience and see everyone in your world as embodiments of that love and let go of the things that you tell yourself about yourself that separate you from the others and separate you from the world. So the thirst to merge with the divine is also, you could say, the desire to go beyond the human suffering. Though, again, this is where the insistence on the outcome also interferes. For the more that you resist your pain and resist your suffering and deny it, the further you elongate the process. So to merge with the divine is also to embrace all of the distorted aspects of self and all of the discomforts and pains that you experience as aspects of the divine. and expand your awareness to include the whole picture. The more, again, that you zoom out from the things that trigger you, zoom out from the discomfort in your body, zoom out from the things you don't like about your reality, and see the bigger picture, the more you can fall into a state of awe and even bewilderment. So the best thing you can do is regularly, again, bring yourself to remember the moments that you felt the greatest love, passion, excitement, bliss, wonder, awe, or even ecstasy. Include all of the moments from the sacred to the profane, because again, you may have judgments about things that might have been in the moment blissful, but then later judged for some reason. Bring all of these experiences in. Remember the feeling in your body. Remember the sensation. Remember the catalytic triggers that brought that about. And know that you can experience that same bliss and wonder in the moment. And if you can bring even the slightest bit of that sensation back into your body, it means that you are able to work with your energy and recreate those experiences. So by doing that regularly, you may be guided to more of the things that help you to fall back into that state of a blissful merging. And on the mental level, continue to affirm to yourself whenever you fall out of separation consciousness that you are source. You are all that is. You are already one with all that is, as an aspect of all that is. And even the human pain is a part of all that is. And you came here to experience it. Remind yourself that, so that, again, you can fully embrace what arises in the moment, yet continue to build momentum towards that process of expanding into your source self.
Oh, wonderful, thank you. And one last little question about the shaking. Do you know about the TRE, the Trauma Release Exercises? Would it be a good permission slip for working with the shaking, releasing?
That is a valuable permission slip, most certainly.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows individuals who might have a greater resistance to the shaking to tap into it, though understand that the shaking as it arises spontaneously is just as good. You can use these exercises, TRE, to at will return to those states of shaking, or at least get familiar with them if they don't come naturally for you, so that you can immerse yourself in them when needed.
Great. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to read another question.
All right.
From Elva. Hi, how can I deal with sexual unhealed trauma in my physical body and emotional body that I have from this life and possibly other lifetimes to feel more pleasure and self-love power in this current relationship with my partner? I end up feeling angry and worthless and like I want nothing to do with people and connection, oftentimes after certain sexual interactions. I don't know what is best for me because I get out of touch with myself many times. I want practical tools that I can use with him, my partner, as well as insight in my subconscious mind, my partner. Thank you.
Understand this as the basis for healing this or any other trauma. Healing is feeling, and people can have similar traumatic experiences, but different ways of processing it, different resources, different support systems. And somebody who has had the same traumatic experience but had support will not experience trauma in their body in a prolonged way, versus somebody who went through a great trauma without support carries that trauma. And so you need to, again, then connect with that past version of yourself who is, in a sense, still alive inside of your body, and will give voice to that part of yourself. This does mean re-experiencing the emotions of that trauma, and one of the most powerful ways of doing that is telling the story. You will know that you are healed when you can tell the story of what happened to you without having any emotional response or reaction to it. One of the best ways to do this is by going into inner child work processes in which you relive the traumatic memories and re-experience them coursing through your body, and then imagine yourself as a third person to your inner child self and speak to that younger version of yourself, not necessarily always a child, and ask them what they need. Going into that space and creating a new memory by bringing in your guides and knowing that in that dream imaginary space, you can add details and take away details and turn that memory into something that was supportive. This will help you, again, get in touch with what your needs actually are within relationship and soothe the pain of the past. Now, in terms of sexual relationships or relationships in general, the best thing to do is to, again, understand your triggers and know that unless you have very clear support systems, it is not usually helpful to push yourself into those triggers. So that may mean certain sexual acts or activities or environments might be too triggering, and that you need to, again, learn to connect with your body and learn to connect with how it feels emotionally within you. There may be a desire to engage in sex simply because you want to connect deeper with your partner, but if you are connecting with another but disconnecting or dissociating with yourself, you are harming yourself. So you need to be fully connected, fully embodied. All practices that help you connect more with your body and bring your somatic awareness into your body and understand what brings pleasure, what brings pain, what brings joy, what brings sadness, will help you in getting much clearer with yourself and being able to do things for yourself on your own and with a partner that bring you pleasure. So you will have to change these engagements so that you only tolerate what brings you pleasure, and things that don't bring you pleasure don't happen. Beyond processing this with your partner, you likely need an outside support system of somebody who has gone through something similar and healed it, or at least can relate and knows how to deal with it. Using these tools we have suggested and other tools as they arise, and giving yourself the full time and space to dive deep into this process, not just for your partner, but most importantly for you.
Okay, somebody in the Zoom chat has a question?
Yes.
Hi, Council.
Hello, yes, welcome.
Thank you for everything and then beyond. I'd have a bit of a question or clarification, if you don't mind.
Yes.
I'd like a clarification on the energetical impact of creating stories or telling stories. There is or seems to be an aspect where the writer or the storyteller does feel in aspect the world that's being created within the story. And I'd like to know it, or I'd like to have some information on its ramifications in the physical world.
That the writer attaches to the story, or what specifically?
It would be understanding what is energetically created by the writer upon doing these stories. Yeah.
Well, it depends the story that is being told, really. As so many stories are a simple rehash of stories that have been told before. So you, in a sense, are creating new archetypes all the time. And the stories and archetypes that you tell yourselves about who you are and your relationship to others and to the world outside do then subtly become a part of what you call collective unconscious. And without even recognizing it, you start to identify with aspects of stories, and they become mini personalities that then in turn can possess you and can influence your thoughts, actions, words, and the ways that you interact with others. So notice, for example, common themes like the hero or the damsel in distress. Notice themes like the villains. Notice the themes of the loner, or the themes of the problem solver, the scientist, from your stories. Yes, there are so many more of these archetypes you can identify with. And people will latch on to being the kind of superhero that they want to embody. And this is not just in fictional stories, it is in, again, stories that the media tells you, stories of the right and wrong way of behaving as an individual. It's stories your society tells you, such as the American dream. There are stories that social media tells you about certain kinds of influencers, and in this community, certain sorts of spiritual embodied beings. And when you see the same story again and again and again, it will sink and seep into your consciousness if you don't question it. And again, media, it's very easy for you to forget that self-consciousness with media because it is so stimulating and pulls your senses in. And this is why the ancient mystics have put sense withdrawal as something that is key to achieving higher states of consciousness. Not that your senses are wrong, but if you don't know how to suspend your awareness of them at times, you fall into states of unconsciousness. So look at all of these stories again and question, are the stories that you are witnessing outside of you becoming a part of who you are? Are you as individuals attempting to be or be similar to a fictional or non-fictional archetype that has been presented to you? Because all of those archetypes are not your authentic self. You can have similar qualities to those archetypes, and you can play those roles for individuals and for the collective at different points in your soul's journey. But if that archetype becomes your identity, you will have to go through that process of what you've called an ego death, because that archetype cannot be or replace your authentic self.
That is fantastic. Thank you greatly for this. Could I have a follow-up question to this?
Yes.
this was amazing. When it comes to the writer, the one creating the story, in, let's say, any kind of specific cases, they tend to live out as the character or as their environments, or which is what I've heard from prominent writers. Does that action by consciousness generate something on the physical plane because energy has been sent out, or is it safe? Oh.
You are always creating, even with your thoughts. Every thought that has ever been thought still exists. And so when you turn your thoughts into this manifest thought form or idea that other people in turn start to think, you are having a grand impact in the field of existence. You are moving consciousness in a direction, and you cannot erase anything. So this isn't a warning in any sense. It is simply an informative message, because once the thought has been thought, it just keeps evolving. It keeps bringing new thoughts. And you can't think a thought that cannot be corrected in the course of your journey. You cannot tell a story that cannot lead to a better ending than the one that you imagined, because again, it's a process of becoming with no definitive conclusions ever.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Council.
No, thanks to you as well.
There's a question from Anna. Hello and thank you. The other day there was a praying mantis in my home. I felt like this could be it possibly could be a message. Is there such thing as a mantis collective? And if so, do I have an aspect running with that collective?
Yes, there is a mantis collective, and yes, there is an aspect of yourself that is a part of that collective. These beings are, in a sense, creator beings, actually. They exist in a much higher plane of existence, and they do have manifest civilizations in dimensions higher than your own, but not as high as that creative level. So they have, in a sense, descended from the level of a very high dimensional creative consciousness into form, and they do assist in the workings of many other extraterrestrial consciousnesses. They, in a sense, help like frequencies attract on higher planes. They, in their form in your world, will bring, in a sense, a very primordial consciousness, because again, these mantis beings are some of the most ancient beings in your world, and you can connect with them if you'd like. You can invite them in. They have many things to help you experience, and you can even experience psychic surgery from them, allowing their energy field into the point that they help many things move around and shift in your energy body.
Amazing, thank you.
May I ask another question?
Oh, yes, you may.
It's regarding my the themes that I'm exploring in my life. So far, I could say that one of the themes I'm exploring is so-called, I don't know if it's right to say this, but let's say, the businessman who has created a business and now he is building it step by step. But another theme that I'm exploring is exactly this spiritual path where I'm so excited to participate and watch transmissions of you, of Bashar, of other Asani beings. And my question is, the more I walk this path, the more I'm not so much interested in building the business, but I'm more into the transmissions, more into the spiritual ascension process, if I could say like this. And my question is, should I choose between both of them at some point, or it's my job to like do them together?
Whatever is exciting for you in the moment. So your frequency of excitement guides you to your true priorities. If it feels more exciting for you to engage in these consciousness transmissions and channeling, then that is something that you are being guided to. If there is mild excitement for you to continue to build the business, then continue to do that. But honor what is exciting for you. Should it stop being exciting entirely, then simply stop doing it.
The thing is that the business part, the business excitement part, is mostly connected, to be honest, with the ability that I could make large amounts of money in the business field that I am, which is real estate. But
yeah.
besides that, okay, maybe there is some kind of excitement when I'm meeting new people, when I'm interacting with new people. This is also exciting to me. But the spiritual thing is really the most exciting in my life. And
though having more money will allow you to go deeper into anything that is exciting for you, yes.
I would say that having more money will bring me false security, which somehow I still believe. Yeah, false security. I still believe that I need it in some way, shape, or form.
But is it true or not true that you need it?
Well, in the physical world that I'm living right now, I would say it's needed.
Yes, it is needed. Unless you went and lived a fully off-grid lifestyle and you fully relied on the support you got from others. But again, that does not give you a clear sense of freedom. So it is, for most of you, not exciting at all. So then you need money. You may not need as much of it as you have been trained to value. So it is a matter of knowing how much you actually need to do what you actually need to do. But again, you cannot have too much of it either. So as long as you are not being motivated by greed and it is consuming you to the point that you are being totally inauthentic and not caring for others in your pursuit of money, then it is okay to be excited for money and to do things simply for the excitement for money, as long as it does not, again, harm yourself or anyone else in the process. Of course, the more you bring your excitement to life with things that are truly resonant for you, the more energy you will have, the more your process will accelerate. So understand again that there can be many things that are exciting for you and relevant for you, and they are not all seemingly as related on the surface as they seem, but they will all tie together in the grander picture of your life.
So basically, the more I follow my passion, the more all of these excitements will show themselves.
Yes.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, our thanks to you as well.
So Anne has a question here. She doesn't have a mic. She's asking, we've been searching for a home to buy in the beach cities, but there isn't anything on the market we like. Moment. Would it be fruitful for me to ask a realtor to pull cancelled listings and rentals for the last 2 years to see if there's something interesting in selling? Would it also be useful to contact developers in the area to get info for houses currently being built? Or should I just be patient and wait for one to be listed on the retail market so that we like? I don't want to waste effort if it wouldn't result in us finding the best house for us. Thank you. And
here also understand how the formula can apply to this situation and other situations like it. So if you say that I am not going to do this thing that could lead me to my path of excitement, if it doesn't work out exactly the way I want it to, you are not following the formula because you are insisting on a particular outcome. So you have to be open to making mistakes. You have to be open to things taking longer than you want. You have to be open to the idea that there is no return for your efforts, and simply surrender to the creative workings of the universe. The more you get out of the way and the more that you are open to the process and open to anything that happens, you will learn lessons when you don't get what you want, and you will use those lessons to get what you want in faster ways. Sometimes without failing first, you will never learn how to get exactly what it is you are seeking. So if you are having the intuitive impulse to do any of these things, then listen to that, and again, be open to what you are learning in the process, because that is what you are here to do, to learn and discover who you are.
thank you. Very helpful, she's writing.
Oh, we're glad to hear that.
Next question from Anna again. I recently experienced source consciousness, or what I call ultimate reality. It's very hard to process it and put into words. Can you give me any advice on why I would be shown this, or what I can tangibly do in this physical reality with this information?
You are source consciousness even within physical reality. You may have more intense experiences of it at certain times, but that does not mean that that consciousness state is not always an underlying fundamental part of your existence. So you can remember that state of consciousness and the emotional positivity and the surrender and the sensations associated with that, and bring it as much as you can into your waking life, using that state of consciousness as a reminder to what you ultimately are. Because again, each and every one of you are aspects of all that is, and all that is source. So you are source, and you can return to that consciousness because essentially that consciousness is you.
Any question from the Zoom chat?
Well, if I may have another extra question.
Yes.
Thank you. Great counsel. It would be in the case of individuals that are highly, how can I say this, sexualized or have a high sexual tendency. Is it, what would you have to say on this subject? Would there be a way to balance this, or is it just simply a nature?
Are you saying that there's something wrong with sexual energy, that there could be too much of it? Because that isn't true.
Not necessarily saying that something is wrong, but potentially feeling a bit of an imbalance towards maybe a lack of stability, I could say, or express.
Well, individuals that experience something like this must come to understand that sexual energy is a part of everything, and it doesn't need to manifest as a sexual engagement with another for it to be pleasurable. Moving sexual energy can be as simple as stroking one's own body, not necessarily the genitals, but feeling one's own caress, feeling the sensation of the sun against the skin or water against the skin, or the pleasure of food. Sexual energy is really a part of everything. Your senses are connected to sensual energy. So if you bring deeper awareness of pleasure into your senses, you can experience sexual energy with anything and everything. So enjoying that, enjoying the fact that you are sexual and that sexual energy is a fundamental aspect of your existence, you wouldn't exist without it, can help you not seek intense sensory stimulus, because the mild and everyday sensory stimulus will be enough to satisfy. Though, again, you would want to honor the way the sexual energy manifests, while at the same time not engaging with people who are incompatible just to get a fill. That is the only time and space in which we consider sexual energy being in some way distorted, is when people are not aware of the other levels of emotional and spiritual exchange of energy, and they simply pursue others just as physical expressions and forget that, again, everything is subtle energy as well as physical energy, and you cannot take physical energy without taking the subtle energy at the same time. So anyone with this condition would want to also bring more awareness into the subtle exchanges of energy. And once they have an understanding of this and they know how subtle exchanges of energy affect them, there will no longer be the same willingness to exchange energy in ways that have negative repercussions.
That is fantastic. Right on the dot, especially in the aspect of understanding that the subtle aspect of that energy. Thank you. Terrifically.
Yes, Sarah, thanks. You as well.
Anne from the Zoom chat is asking, I have people visiting from across the country this weekend, and we were wondering if there are supplements, herbs, or teas that we should take in order to minimize the chances of catching the virus if they've been exposed while traveling. We're taking vitamin D and C now to boost immunity.
Those vitamins are helpful. You can also look into echinacea and something called NAC, N-A-C.
All right.
Hello. Is it okay if I respond, or is there another one when someone else needs to ask a question?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. All right. Hello, Pleiadian Council. I apologize for my late arrival, but I'm here.
All is well, yes.
Okay, so my first question that I have is, why were many ancient parts of history all point to a certain degree the pineal gland?
What was that?
Sorry, I gotta speak up higher. Why were many ancient parts of history all point to a certain degree the pineal gland?
The pineal gland, yes, is used in accessing interdimensional states of consciousness, and also it plays a role in regulating the movement of your consciousness between certain brain states, and those brain states allow you to work in different dimensional states. So this regulatory gland, again, is part of your soul's movement between consciousness states, and as a place where DMT is released and focused, it again allows you to go into those more beyond consciousness levels, to connect with source, to experience higher dimensional components of yourself, and much more.
Is there actually no, that answers my question. I was thinking about that. Okay, so I was wondering if there are other parts of the body that also produce DMT apart from the pineal gland in that case.
The function of the pituitary gland is related to the pineal gland. So if the pituitary gland is out of balance, so will the pineal gland be. But this is the only part of the body that directly produces DMT.
Okay. Thank you.
What about the lungs?
The what?
Lungs.
Lungs? Willie wants to know if the lungs produce DMT.
Oxygen, high amounts of oxygen, if you put yourself into a super oxygenated state, you can experience DMT release in the pineal gland. But again, it wouldn't be the lungs directly producing it as much as it would be the high amount of oxygen triggering the pineal gland to produce it.
Thank you.
Okay, so my next question is Gilgamesh still alive in his body?
No, that is a story, an archetypical story that describes, again, your human seeking for your existence beyond death.
Sorry, who are you talking about? I didn't hear.
I said Gilgamesh. These questions are related to him because recently they discovered his body, and there's a video recording online that shows his entire body intact, completely preserved, and his eyes were open. And so I was wondering if he was alive. So the next question in regard to this is it true that the US went to war with Iraq just to confiscate the body / head of Gilgamesh?
No, that is not true.
Is it true that the Large Hadron Collider could 3D print almost exact replicas of human flesh, muscle, which could function later on in the future?
No.
Is it true that the authorities are attempting to resurrect Gilgamesh or Nimrod? And what will be the result of that?
No.
What can I do with the electromagnetic fields of my chakra?
Well, chakras are electromagnetic fields. So again, the more you bring your awareness into the chakras and into what sensations and emotions are present there, and bring deeper feeling to them, honor the impulses and the feelings of excitement each of the chakras store, and unite the chakras together, you will then raise the energy through the chakras and clear blockages through them gradually over time.
Okay, these are the last two questions. Now this, I feel, is definitely around your neighborhood because I'm actually curious about this myself. Every question I have, I'm always interested in, but this one in particular, I feel is more related to you. So could you point me to a specific crop circle that could best benefit me in a way that would best serve the purpose of a crop circle?
One moment. The crop circle would have appeared in the United Kingdom in the month of April 2002. That, in this moment, is a crop circle that would be most particularly exciting and interesting for you, though there are also many others. So as your frequency adjusts and shifts, you may find different crop circles that are more relevant for you at that time.
And last question. This is a very big question because I'm not sure how to associate you because I don't have an image, if that makes sense. So the question is, what do you look like?
What do we as beings look like? All right, well, again, as we are quasi-physical in nature, our appearance is different depending on the reality we manifest in. And also, as we speak on behalf of a collective, we say that our Pleiadian race is very diverse and has many offshoots. So the particular entities connected to the channel look tall, slender, have bluish skin, large eyes. Typically, our dress includes flowing or robe-like materials, though not necessarily what you consider robes in your world. Long hair most of the time. We look somewhat akin to what you describe as elves, though much taller, and again bluish.
Thank you. Thank you for answering the questions. I appreciate your time and your answers, of course.
Yes, so thanks to you as well.
Willie has a new question. He wants us to know, overhearing your appearance, he wanted to know what are the purposes of the robes?
We think they look pretty. They appeal to us.
Seem to be like like to cover anything up or anything. It's like are you required to wear them, or it's just people like how they look?
We did not hear that.
He asked if the robes is a pure desire to wear them, or is it a requirement to wear them versus being naked, essentially?
We don't have to wear them. There are times when we don't. Yes, we enjoy nudity as well.
It's not like our society where we're required, or it's all the different reasons why we do it.
Well, we do tend to wear them when we interact with other beings that are not of our species, as it might be a bit less distracting to simply have the experience of our facial structure and so on and so forth. Again, the appearance of our bodies is not the purpose of our interaction, so we don't have to share everything with everyone, though of course we do enjoy time without clothes as much as any species would.
Willie thanks you for his answer.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, we thank you as well.
Raku has a question.
All right.
Dear Council, can you provide any insights to completely remedy the current physical discomforts I'm experiencing in my body, as well as the viral and fungal issues that I want to completely eliminate? Also, best current employment for me to direct my attention to. Thank you so much.
Well, what we will say is that finding medicine within the sickness and finding wisdom in discomfort is key. You must enter a state of non-resistance. Remember that the formula is to follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability with zero insistence on a particular outcome. So you can pursue all the ways that come to you and resonate to you in improving your condition. But if you say that it must go away in order for you to have acceptance of yourself and to feel all right with your existence, you are delaying the healing process. You can experience passion, joy, love, expansion, connection, and all of the things that make life meaningful and worthwhile while still having experiences of pain and discomfort. And so what many of you do when you resist what you are feeling and experiencing is inadvertently prolonging those sensations and those pains with your negative attitude towards them. So what you embrace will heal, and what you struggle with and fight against will persist. So have that healthy attitude and ask yourself, what am I now learning from my discomfort and my dis-ease that I would not be able to learn any other way? And when you find the valuable lessons and you find the new opportunities that come to you from your limitations, and you find what is exciting to you that you are capable of despite your limitations, you will generate a more positive state and frequency that will allow healing to happen in a much more rapid way. And yes, at the same time, you may look to many remedies and permission slips and tools to accelerate your healing process. In terms of the idea of work, we would encourage you to find something that is truly exciting for you, find something that brings your passion to life, find something that makes you feel good, and that will serve you more than any other opportunity. We must say the channel is reaching a point of exhaustion a bit quicker than expected this time, so we can take the most important next 1 or 2 questions.
May I ask about my sleep that has been, I've been dealing with a lot of sleep issues the last couple of years, and it was better during this before the summer or the beginning of the summer, and it's again bothering me when I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm awake for quite some time. And
well, part of it is simply the increase in light and decrease in darkness affects your sleeping patterns, and you are not able to sleep as much. So embracing that, and again, like we have said with the previous questioner, when you are in a state of resistance to your discomfort, you prolong the discomfort and make it worse. So you may find greater acceptance for your wakefulness, and perhaps you use it in a productive way, not forcing yourself to sleep, but allowing yourself to study and allowing yourself, or do that if it is exciting, but allow yourself to do something that is exciting when you cannot sleep. And if you are feeling tired and exhausted, asking again, what about that experience are you gaining? What can be a positive use of that experience? Then we would say, upon everything else we have told you about this issue in the past, you may want to attempt to push yourself to greater physical exhaustion with more physical exercise and engagements with others that bring you to a point of truly feeling so tired that all you can do is sleep. So paradoxically, the harder you work, the more deeply you will rest.
great, thank you.
Yes, and our thanks to you. A last question from somebody, perhaps?
Well, Raku, the previous person, I was reading his question about the physical discomforts. His last question is about employment. I'm not sure if you addressed something about that.
Oh, well, we did say, do find something that is exciting. If your work is exciting and inspiring and brings you into a state of joy and passion, it will have a greater impact and allow you to maintain a higher frequency.
Okay.
Are we otherwise complete then?
It looks like it.
All right. Then we thank all of you for co-creating this interaction and being present with us today, for allowing these frequencies to land in your world and be a part of your reality. Let us conclude with a brief visualization you can do with us together. Bring your awareness into your body. Closing your eyes, taking deep breaths in and out. Imagine yourself in front of a great lake. On the lake, you see a bridge floating out in front of you, leading to an island. As you set off on the island, know that on the other side, someone or something is waiting for you that has a message for you about your soul's greatest desires at this time. As you walk across the bridge, see perhaps what this is out in the distance. It may seem blurry. It may seem clouded at first. As you get closer and closer, let the details formulate and clarify in your inner sight. As you arrive onto the island, come to meet this other thing or person or entity, and feel that exchange. Notice the details and how the exchange of energy feels in your body. And as you allow this energy to go deeper, also look out around you at the Great Lake, feeling what it's like to be surrounded by water. Here, with this messenger, receive the message and take it into your heart of hearts. And perhaps you receive a gift that you can take with you as you begin your walk across the other side of the bridge once again. So you need not rush. Take as long as you like here in this place. And know that, like any space created in your imagination, once you've created it, it will always exist. It will always be a space that you can return to again and again to receive different gifts. We thank you for participating in this interaction, for co-creating this with us, for integrating these energies in your world and allowing yourselves to become embodiments of your own higher self. It is a pleasure always to meet you and to let these works take place. So know everything you are doing and coming into alignment with your passion, making it real, is the work of transforming your world. And if it lights up joy within you, it is something that your world needs. So our thanks is with you, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your day.
Awesomeness, dude. Thank you. It's awesome.
Very welcome. Cool stuff. Thanks
Wow.
for joining, everybody.
That was powerful, the visualization.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things I never really understand what they are or where they come from, but I'm glad they have an impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you
How's
very much,
everybody
Dante.
feeling? You're welcome. Oh, and before we go to conversational, donations are really appreciated. I do all this for free. And if you really benefit from this, you are not obliged to, but you're welcome to contribute, and it helps me in continuing to offer this for free. So I'll post that in the Zoom chat one more time. Even though I don't see anything in the chat, that's interesting. And that's my PayPal, and the second one is Venmo. So thank you so much for supporting this work. And yeah, the channeling course is going to happen in October. And if you have any questions about that, I offer free consultations to really explore where you're at and what your intentions are. The program is for people who want to become channels, but it's also for people to, there's less people who use it for that, and there's more people who use it to gain the tools to make changes in their lives and live a more intuitive life and heal aspects of themselves, because it's a healing course as well. There's many tools beyond channeling that really help you turn your psychic gifts online and get to know yourself in deeper ways. And it's also a community program where you can really use the support of other people in that process to have many mirror reflections of what's going on in your own life and how you can go a lot deeper. And it really, almost everyone, I would say, just about everyone who's participated has experienced really great shifts in their journey from it. So you can talk to some of those people as well, maybe as an affirmation. And we'll do this again next Thursday and as well on Friday. And every other Friday, if it continues to be successful, there will be the private channeling that allows us to go into subjects that not so easy to talk about in today's world on heavily censored and shadow banning social media platforms. So feel welcome. And those are my plugs. And how's everybody doing?
I'm good. It's been a calm day today for me. Very chill.
Nice. Any feedback on this transmission? Any things that you guys really liked or had deep experiences with?
Yes, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this, because it does get tiring and exhausting. So I want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's tiring just talking for 2 hours, but it's energizing to be bringing in this energy, and it uplifts me. And so, I mean, everything in life gives and takes energy. Literally everything gives and takes an energy. And that's a really powerful exploration that I've been learning. So yeah, it gets tiring. Like we can only do anything for so long, but I enjoy it. I love it.
I really enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much. I'm
You're
gonna
welcome.
re-listen to it again. And oh yeah, so valuable.
Yeah, and it's exciting. So there's I'm doing some channeling with an intimate group of people to create a whole book that will be available sometime next year that really synthesizes like the best of these teachings and the most, you know, potent things that come through in a way that's like a complete manual for life and very much hopefully digestible for people. So the first session of that happened recently, and just feeling really energized by what's potential with all of this.
Very exciting.
I've been learning that there's a video called The Water Experiment, in which you put like a good word on the water, you put a bad word on it, and then you put nothing on the third water. You freeze them all, and then the water actually takes a different shape depending on what the word is. So if it's a positive word, it will take a beautiful shape. And then if it's a negative word, it'll be a shape that represents chaos. And so this also applies to spoken words. If you just spoke positive words to one water and negative words to another water, it'll do the same. So I'm learning that this goes outside of water. This can go to any single physical thing that has matter, because that is how powerful we are. And that's what I'm learning.
Well,
I'm learning
you know, everything that's organic is based on water, right? Like our bodies are what, 60 or 70% water?
Yeah, 70%.
Plants are mostly water. Food is water. Yeah, it's part of the elemental forces of life, right?
It goes back to the oneness, huh? It's really cool.
That's what I'm pretty much on. Just utilizing the power of my declaration of existence. Just wanted to share that.
Bastiani, do you have a summer tan?
A what?
Summer tan?
Summertime?
Mhm.
It's already, you know, the Danish summer is very short, so
Yeah.
it's already almost gone.
I noticed it though.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Wow, when we were guided on the other side of the bridge to this island, I met the dragon.
Oh wow.
It was really powerful. So I'm gonna leave you and continue this powerful.
Oh yeah. Can you make me the host?
Sure. Dante. Thank you so much for today.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, Bastiani. Thank you.
Let me know how it goes with your dragon. Oh, she's already gone. Okay.
Interesting. Dragon energies alike.
Mm-hmm. For real, dragons are pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up? How's your day?
My day?
Yes.
I woke up, I talked to some people in my house, I did my Qigong practice, and then I got on this call. And now I will probably take a little rest.
Yeah, it sounds like you too.
Thanks for being here, George. Have a good one. Yay. So, okay. Well, I guess I'll see most of you guys or some of you guys or whoever wants to join next week. And thanks again for being a part of this. And my love, hugs, and blessings to all of you.
Thank you. Loads of energy your way, you know. Blessings, love,
Thank you, Dante.
creativity.
Very welcome. Catch you next
Okay,
time.
Dante. Thank you.
Bye.
You. Bye.